What's up, everybody? My name's Godzi, and I really feel like this music is too loud, but I've tested it before. This shouldn't be too loud. Welcome back to Umineko When They Cry questions arc, and I swear to God, this is way too loud. I'm gonna just turn it down some. 27 should be fine, I guess. So, welcome back to Umineko. Last episode, we started the game and we got introduced to like half the characters within 1 hour. Cool! But hey, at least there's a lot more detail and character development in this than there was in the original Umineko. I already care about all these characters more than I did back then, so that's good. Let's just continue it. Because we haven't even reached the island that the game's supposed to take place on, so fun. Hey, Battler, maybe you should just swim to the island. I'm pressing my arrow. Guess I have to click on it. Okay, this should work now. There we go. And I forgot, there's honorifics, because, I don't know. The waves are more annoying than the music. That's what the problem is. Battler, you shouldn't lean over the railing too much. You might fall. God damn it, I forgot about her. Fall! Fall! Damn it, so this is why you were all grinning back there. So this is the super high-speed boat that the captain started modding. Oh yes, that piece of junk fishing boat from 6 years ago doesn't hold a candle to this guy. Whoa, it's shaking, it's shaking, it's shaking! Gonna fall, fall, fall! Oh my god. Ew, ew, ew! Gonna fall, fall, fall! If I fall, I'll land in the ocean and drown. Where's the parachute? I mean, where's the buoy? Give me a life jacket! I don't know who's laughing. Probably Jessica? Battler, what the heck are you doing that for? George, maybe? Jessica, Maria, it's not nice to tease. Battler, if you're scared, then just don't come out on the deck. I think you'll be able to calm down a bit if you go inside the boat. That's a no thank you, George. Shipwreck victims are always the ones inside the boat. The survivors are usually those on the deck during the accident, so I'm staying right here. But it's shaking. I'm gonna fall! Whoa! The dialogue in this is hilarious. I don't think it's intentionally supposed to be all that funny, but it really is. Shake, gonna fall! Oh, that was Maria. Jesus. Shake, gonna fall! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Maria, I told you to behave yourself. I've already changed George's voice. I know it was something different, but this somewhat fits him. But Battler, it looks like you really can't handle it. I'll go tell the captain to slow down for you. Oh, that's Rosa! What the fuck? Maria, I told you to behave yourself, but blah blah blah, I already read this. Whoa, Aunt Rosa, thank you! I can tell you now that safe, slow driving is definitely the way to go. Even on the sea! Ha ha ha! Don't do that, Rosa. Trials and tribulations are important for young men. I don't know who's talking! Isn't that right, Battler? You better be able to overcome a little scare like this. Otherwise, you'll never be able to go to Egypt with your aunt. Oh, it's fucking Eva. How am I supposed to know who's talking? Whoa, Aunt Eva, you're so mean! Oh no, I'm gonna fall! Life jacket! Parachute! Whoa! Wait, gotta spin it around and think that way. What's the enemy aiming for? Is he doing this to scare me? If that's what he's aiming for, too bad. Like hell I'll be scared! But no, I'm gonna fall! Okay, we should be fine now. Oh boy. So after I made a huge fool of myself for a while, Aunt Rosa had a talk with the boat captain and he slowed down to a more manageable speed for me. Aha. That's a bit better. Thought I was gonna die earlier. Apparently the max speed I can tolerate is extremely slow. But that just now was completely insane. The whole boat was shaking, sliding and leaping on the ocean's surface. It felt like I was riding on the back of a flying fish. Huh, that's quite an analogy. Jessica was still guffawing at me as I leaned against the railing, tired and disheartened. I lost in that strength contest earlier, but I'm glad to know I'm no worse off where it really counts. But seriously, damn it, go ahead and laugh. One of these days I'm gonna find your weakness and get back at you, and then your boobs will be mine to squish. Japanese people, they're weird. And why does every Japanese male protagonist who's under the age of 18 always go, damn it? Like, think of one who doesn't. Edward Elric, every single Danganronpa protagonist. It's ridiculous. Yeah, sure, good luck with that. Batware, all weak. Yeah, Batware all weak. I want to die on land, not in the ocean or the sky. Maria was patting my back, so I patted her head in return. Her expression was blank, as usual, but I realized that she wanted to console me. Who's talking? I'm gonna just guess George? Battler, the captain's throwing in drinks to make up for this. Would you like one to calm yourself down? George and Kumasawa brought us all ice-cold cans of soft drinks covered with beads of water. Judging from Kumasawa's big grin, our parents inside the boat were probably all rolling around laughing at my moment of pure terror. Damn it, I'm so embarrassed. I can't bear to face any of them. If I didn't change the subject somehow, I had the feeling I'd be the butt of everyone's jokes for the whole trip. So I tried to think of something harmless to talk about. Hey Jessica, how are Uncle Cross and Aunt Natsuhi doing? My old man and Mom? Unfortunately, they're fine. Though every other word out of their mouths is study, study, which pisses me off. I'm so jealous, since it doesn't look like Uncle Hideyoshi or Uncle Rudolph would say stuff like that. Oh no. Before I had my exams, my parents kept pressing me about it over and over. I thought it was annoying then, but now I'm grateful. Ha, I knew it. You really are awesome, George. Anyway, I have to look after myself. No one tells me what to do. Well, it's not like I'd listen if they did. Hee hee hee. Battler, have you still not returned to your parents' home? Well, I kinda go back now and then. Oh, does he not live with them? I didn't know that. I've got lots of clothes and stuff left at the house I was living in until recently. Ew? Battler has 2 houses? Something like that. Why? Why do you have 2 houses? Only Maria, who couldn't really grasp the situation, voiced this naive question. However, the others just shot nervous glances at me, choosing not to respond even though they knew the answer. Maria, look, you can see the harbor now. Look, over there. Can you see it? Side of harbor, side of harbor. Fucking hell. Apparently, Jessica was trying to be nice by changing the subject. Ah, well. I'd rather not talk about it if I can help it, but it's uncomfortable to have it treated like some kind of weird taboo. I don't mind it that much myself anymore. I may be a member of the Ushiromiyas family, but the truth is that, for these last 6 years, I've been living with my grandparents on my late mother's side, and I've even been using her family name. Huh. Oh, I didn't know that. When those grandparents passed away, one after the other, I basically had no choice but to go back and live with the old bastard. Don't get me wrong, I didn't just run away from home or anything like that. The only one at fault here is my dad. I don't really blame Kyrie. Being able to hold that old bastard's reins and ride him out is no mean feat. Still, the way that old bastard betrayed my mom. Well, unfortunately, I still haven't fully gotten over that. Oh, he was living with them because he probably hated how fast his dad moved on. Yeah, Rudolph does strike me as kind of a douche, but, you know, whatever. Ahem. We'll be getting there soon. George cleaned. Hand me the soap, I need to clean my throat. George cleared his throat, trying to change the subject. Please forgive my indiscretion. It seems this old woman has said too much already. If I have hurt your feelings... I don't mind it, and no one's feelings are hurt. Don't worry, Kumasawa. Kumasawa seemed to regret speaking out of turn, but I was more concerned about being worried over What? But I was more concerned about being worried over for something like that, okay? So I stood up and passed it off lightly. After that, I had a sip of my drink and headed over to Maria and Jessica, who were gazing at the silhouette of the island.
Ugh! Battler, I saw the island! Saw the island! There!
Where is it? Oh, I see it now. Even after 6 years, the island hasn't changed a bit. It's a few weird pixels. The small island silhouette in front of us had gotten pretty close. This island's name is Rokanjima. It's a small island about 10 kilometers around, located in the Izu archipelago. Since they call this archipelago the Izu 7, lots of people think there are only 7 islands, but that's not true. There's actually several more, and Rokanjima is one of the minor islands that don't get counted. Even if that weren't the case, I doubt you'd find many people who knew about this island. Only people connected to the Ushiromiyas family ever go there. In other words, outsiders and tourists never have any reason to care about it. So you'll never find this island's name in the travel brochure. Huh. After all of Rokanjima is an estate possessed by the Ushiromiyas head family. Only the Ushiromiyas family lives there, and only people connected to the Ushiromiyas family come and go to and from there. How many times can we say Ushiromiyas so quickly? There's nothing there except a harbor and a mansion. The vast majority of the island is still just uncultivated forest. Such a waste, when it could be made into a nice golf course or something. However, when you realize that the entire coastline is a private beach, it starts to sound pretty magnificent. You've probably guessed by now, but to put it simply, well, the Ushiromiyas family is just rolling in dough. Yeah. The head family apparently possesses a vast fortune, and Dad and the others who make up the branch families have built up plenty of wealth for themselves, finding success in their respective businesses. I've been living a commoner's life at my grandparents' home these 6 years, so I'd completely forgotten. But the old bastard's house really is elegant, and everything about it is tuned to match the snobbish tastes of the annoyingly rich. Come to think of it, I guess that makes George, Jessica, Maria, and me wealthy, high-class gentlemen and ladies. Huh. None of you even act like... Well, George kinda, but really, he's pretty normal too. Needless to say, none of us think of ourselves that way at all. I don't see myself as being rich, and George, who takes self-discipline very seriously, doesn't let himself get too comfortable. Jessica is always complaining that she'd rather move to the city than be rich. And Maria is still a kid who isn't even interested in money at all. Does that attitude really make us any less snobbish? From the perspective of people in poverty who can't pay the bills, we really have been blessed with a lot. This isn't the place to explain any further, so I won't. Okay, that's quite a spiel about my family's rich, ha ha ha! Anyway, it's the same as not being able to choose the parents you're born from. I didn't ask to be born into a rich family, and I don't think it's really something to be envied. It can be pretty trying when people are prejudiced against you just because you're rich and refuse to judge you by your merits. I guess that makes sense. As I pondered these sentimental thoughts, Maria started shouting and leaned over the railing. Okay. Gone. What's wrong, Maria? Did you drop something? Gone! Gone! Maria kept yelling, gone, gone. It's a SpongeBob episode. At first, it sounded as though she had dropped something, but while she shouted, she also pointed out over the ocean. What's wrong? What's gone? I'll look for it too, if you want. What is it? What the hell? If she dropped something, she would probably have looked down at the floor, but Maria was pointing out over the ocean. One would assume by that gesture that she had spotted something, but she kept saying that something wasn't there. Strange. That is strange. However, since my last memories of this place came from 6 years ago, I was able to spot it before George, who comes here every year. Huh? If I remember correctly, wasn't there a torii or something on top of a small crag around here? That's right, it was definitely there. I remember it well, since as we get closer to the island, it's the first thing to greet us, like a landmark. Wow, you're amazing, Battler. Even though it's been 6 years, you remembered. Okay. I thought halfway through that it was George talking. It was here, wasn't it? Oh, is that Jessica? It was here, wasn't it? I remember too. These three don't exactly have very different voices, because I can't do girl voices all that well. The tutelary god's shrine and that Torii-like thing were standing all alone on that crag. Now that you mention it, they are gone, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they were still there last year. Maria? Gone. Ooh. Maybe they were washed away by the waves or something. It was a small crag, so it probably got worn away over time. In a year? Well, that's my theory too. But that's just a theory. A crag theory. Thanks for watching. It was last summer that it disappeared, but they say an enormous lightning bolt came crashing down one evening and smashed the shrine. The fishermen whisper that having a thunderbolt fall upon our honored tutelary god must be a portent of approaching misfortune. In English? Or, well, you're Japanese. But still, please in English. Kuwabara. Don't know what Yu Yu Hakusho has to do with this, but whatever. Kumasawa smiled impishly as if teasing us, rubbing her hands together while intoning a Japanese phrase meant to ward off lightning. That's what Kuwabara means? However, Maria apparently took this seriously and stared fixedly over the ocean to where the crag housing the shrine god was supposed to be. Okay. A portent of misfortune. Enough, Kumasawa. Maria isn't old enough to get that kind of joke. It's okay, Maria. It's just a coincidence. Nothing scary is gonna happen. George put a hand on Maria's shoulder to calm her down, but Maria's sharp-eyed expression didn't waver. Misfortune. Oh. Misfortune. It's hard to do that. It's hard to talk like that. Like, it's already strayed from the Natsuki voice, which isn't really a problem, because that was just the closest thing I had to it. I intend on just reusing voices to just kind of adapt them more to the character as time goes on. And I guess that's what's happening with George and slightly with Battler, but still, it's a difficult voice to do. Maria muttered that word over and over. Apparently, repeating a single word over and over is a habit that Maria's had for a long time. However, since the word she was saying was literally an ill omen, it was a bit creepy. Yep, that would make sense. Hey now, Maria. If you say it over and over like that, misfortune will really end up happening, you know? I tapped Maria's other shoulder. Maria whipped her head around, stared into my face, and spoke unblinkingly. Misfortune is coming. I don't remember if in the show she was, like, kind of a prophet or something, but she had some sort of connection to Beatrice. I don't really remember anything beyond that, though. Huh? And just where is it coming from? I answered lightheartedly, trying to break the tension in the air. At that moment, Maria held up a finger, raised her arm high, and pointed up to the heavens. When I looked up, I saw that the sky was still just as cloudy, but it had grown a great deal more leaden than it had been that morning. That's right, they were saying that a typhoon was approaching, carrying the Mongol Empire after all these years. We had planned to spend one night on the island, but if this storm doesn't pass quickly, I won't be able to make it to school on Monday. Well, I guess it makes for a pretty good excuse to be absent. Fucking what? There was a bug on my arm. She apparently sensed some kind of misfortune in this cloudy sky. She's been muttering that non-stop for a while now. Girls at Maria's age tend to be very impressionable. She's just about the age that many girls start to get excited about sixth senses and whether they have any psychic potential and stuff. That's not just girls, guys do that too. For all we know, this might be due to her childish, sensitive nature. You'd pray. It's okay, Maria. The weather might get worse tonight, but tomorrow it'll clear up and become a pretty blue sky. Pretty blue sky. That's right, by tomorrow it'll be a pretty blue sky. There's no rain that doesn't end, and no clouds that never clear. Rain that doesn't end. Clouds that never clear.
Yeah.
I know the typhoon's coming, but soon it'll go away. It'll be okay, Maria. Oh god, she looks angry.
Ugh. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Maria started yelling ooh ooh again. It looked as though she was having a tantrum because no one could understand what she was trying to say. What in the world is Maria trying so desperately to warn us about? Unable to understand her, we couldn't help but feel a vague sense of misfortune. I've heard that everyone can feel the supernatural, but that it weakens as you age. That might mean that Maria, the youngest one of us, still possessed some kind of sense that the rest of us had lost. She's 9. It's not like you're 30 years older than her. Would it really dissipate by the time you're 10? Or older than that? That doesn't make sense. Not to mention, supernatural shit doesn't exist in the first place. Yeah, this is fiction, but still. I wonder if that sense is sending her a warning. At that moment, Kumasawa quietly opened her mouth. Rumor has it that long ago, Rokenjima was... Kumasawa. Let's not talk about that now. Just as Kumasawa was out... I can't talk. Just as Kumasawa was about to tell some kind of story, Jessica sharply interrupted her. Jessica's tone was extremely firm for her. I wanted to push her further, just out of simple curiosity, but judging by the look on Jessica's face, whatever Kumasawa was likely to say would probably make Maria even more uneasy. If I did try to press her for the story, the odds were pretty good that it wouldn't be anything bright and cheery. Ho ho ho! I do apologize about that. The wind here is hard to bear for the elderly, so if you would excuse me for now. Gossipers have no reason to hang around after they've been told to stop chatting. Okay. When Kumasawa finally realized that she'd overstepped her bounds, she went back inside the boat. Weird. Oh, hi. After she left, Uncle Hideyoshi showed up in her place. Since he'd arrived mid-conversation, he completely failed to notice the complicated atmosphere that hung about the scene. So he refreshingly and unwittingly swept that atmosphere aside. So in the end, it was his lack of tact that brightened the mood. Looks like we're almost there. Okay, just a bit more. Took forever at the speed we went today, didn't it? Wonder whose fault that was. Wah ha ha ha. Uncle Hideyoshi, give me a break already. Ta ha ha. Come on, don't stop there. Seriously, thanks to Batware here, it's taken forever. Eh. Maria probably thought that everyone was refusing to listen to her. She hung her head, wearing a fretful expression. As she did, George crouched down to meet her eyes and spoke to her kindly. Maria, there's nothing to be afraid of. Because we're all together. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're together. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're together.
Yes. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're with each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the dialogue is a little weird, but, you know, it's fine. That's right, exactly what George said. If we stick together, there will never be anything at all to be afraid of. Right, Jessica?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
What George says is always true, Maria.
Yeah. George always true.
Yes. I don't lie. So trust me. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're all together.
Yeah. George doesn't lie. I trust you. There's nothing to be afraid of if we're all together. Ew, not afraid!
Maria jumped into George's arms and hugged him tightly, or just walked, like, a foot to the left. After George patted her head, she jumped away again. Her facial expression had undergone a 180-degree change, turning back to normal. She was once again the ordinary Maria.
Yeah. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore, because we're together. Ugh.
Yeah, that's it. You look all better now. You're strong, and that's awesome.
Ugh. I'm awesome!
Oh my god. Hey now, what's going on here? Maria didn't get seasick, did she? Hmm?
Well, something like that. We'll be arriving soon.
The harbor was already drawing near. What's going on? Oh. 7th expansion presents Welcome to Rokenjima When They Cry 3. 3? I know Higurashi is one of them. Was Higurashi first or second? And what's the third one? The other one that I apparently don't know about. Okay. Strange, but whatever. Oh, achievement unlocked. Welcome to Rokanjima. Finally. The boat gave a big shudder. Seems we've docked at the harbor. The boat driver came out and jumped to the pier with the mooring rope, rather. A large man in a tuxedo was waiting there for us with a warm smile. I didn't recognize his face, but judging by his clothes, I guessed he was a servant of the Ushiromiya head household. Was it Genji? Oh, that's not Genji. Who are you? I definitely don't remember you.
Welcome home, lady. You were so late in returning that I began to worry.
Oh, what? I'm confused. Thanks for caring. This moron got so scared we had to slow down. It was seriously annoying. Shut up. Someday when the shoe's on the other foot, you'll remember this. Ugh. Who's that guy? At this rate, word'll spread to the whole family, and I'll be the big conversation piece during dinner. Even without this, everyone would be talking about me because of that 6-year gap. But now I've given them an even juicier topic. Damn it, why does the Ushiromiya head family have to live on this isolated island? In the meantime, the boat had finished its mooring. A small plank was lowered so that we could get down. One by one, our parents came up from inside the boat.
You must all be quite tired from your long trip. Madame, please allow me to assist you.
Thank you. It's been a while, Gohda. How are you? Gohda. I don't remember Gohda.
I thank you for your concern. It is always my pleasure to serve.
Butler, isn't this your first time meeting Gohda? If I'm not mistaken, you weren't working here 6 years ago, right?
Indeed. So please, allow me to greet him for the first time. It is an honor to meet you, Butler.
I'm pretty confident about my height, but you're huge. This is definitely our first meeting. I never forget meeting a big guy like you. It's a pleasure. I'm Butler.
I was looking forward to meeting you. I am Gohda.
Oh god. The text has come back.
Your servant. And I have been working for the Ushiromiya head family since the year before last. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If there's anything you need, please feel free to rely on me at any time.
Gohda, it's been some time.
It has been too long, George. Please, allow me to assist you.
As usual, you're a pro at welcoming guests. If you ever need a job, just let me know, okay? I'd hire you anytime.
You do me too much honor. Please allow me to assist you, Hideyoshi.
Okay, I do not remember Gohda at all. It's weird. Gohda then lent a hand to everyone as they disembarked, greeting them as they passed. His speech and mannerisms had the refined polish of a professional. He was very graceful, in contrast with his initially tough-looking appearance. His large size made him seem a bit scary at first, but he was much more polite than my first impression had led me to believe. He claimed to have served on the island for 2 years, but he had doubtless worked at a similar job, somewhere before. After everybody disembarked, the mooring rope was untied and the boat started to steer away from the harbor. It was probably returning to its home port on Nijima. The captain waved his hand in farewell. Maria conscientiously waved her hand back. Now that I think about it, that must be why I felt something out of place for a while now. I can't hear the cries of the seagulls. Seagulls? The birds? Yeah, seagulls are birds. If I remember correctly, whenever we came to this island in the past, the seagulls have always greeted us with their lively "nah, nah" cries. Because of that, whenever I hear the cries of seagulls anywhere else, I get the feeling that I'm coming to a family conference. Except for the small part of the island where those of the Ushiromiya head family live, Rokanjima has been left uncultivated, which apparently makes it a paradise for wild birds. Supposedly there was a cliff somewhere that housed a huge seagull colony, so this island was always full of seagulls. Not having those seagulls here to greet us made me feel a bit lonely. Well, it is called Umineko, I'm pretty sure, does mean seagull, so that would make sense. Like, the Japanese name translates directly to When the Seagulls Cry. Yeah, that makes sense, because Higurashi was when the cicadas cry. So, yeah. What's wrong, Battler? Oh, Aunt Rosa. Nah, it's nothing really. I was just thinking it's a bit lonely without the cries of the seagulls. My, that's true now that you mention it. Even though they're always so noisy, today there isn't one to be seen.
Eh? Why no seagulls?
Maybe it's because the seagulls are having a get-together somewhere too? Maria, did you want to see the seagulls?
Wanted to see them.
Still, it's a bit strange that there isn't even a single one around. Maybe Jessica grilled them all and ate them. The hell? Don't say disturbing stuff like that. You'll get Maria believing it.
Jessica grilled them. Jessica grilled them.
I did not. Why the hell would I do something like that? That's right. Jessica grilled them. Skin and meatballs, liver and onion.
Swimming meatballs, liver and onion.
As I made fun of Jessica, Maria tagged along, looking like she was having fun. Oh, I never guessed she was such a good sport. Alrighty then, from today on I'll make you my #1 follower. As I smiled at her, she beamed, looking overjoyed. Possibly because she was happy about this little connection we'd made with each other. That's not it, Maria. I've heard wild birds are attuned to changes in the weather and atmospheric pressure. The weather will probably get worse tonight. The seagulls might have returned to their nests early.
Not grilled? Jessica didn't grill them?
No. I wouldn't do something like that. Battler, you admit right now that you lied. Battler, Maria's a naive girl, so she takes even jokes seriously. You should choose your jokes more carefully. George gently scolded me. Even though I outstripped George in height, George was George, of course. Oh my god. It's weird switching that word with George, but whatever. There was no choice but to obediently apologize. Sure, my bad. Maria, that was a joke. The seagulls are all taking it easy in their nests today, that's all.
Battler lied? George told the truth?
Had she actually been tricked despite all that fun she was having? Her pure eyes made me feel guilty. Maybe I went a little overboard with her after all. Yeah, that's right. What George said is true. The weather's bad, so they probably went home for the day. Doesn't mean they're gone. Right, Aunt Rosa? That's right. Tomorrow when the weather gets better, I'm sure they'll come back so we can hear them cry meow meow like they always do.
I'll wait until the weather gets better and they come back. Gonna wait until tomorrow. Gonna wait until the weather's better.
Maria was in a lighter mood and was looking forward to tomorrow, when the seagulls would come back and fill the skies. Still, George really was amazing at taking care of kids. I think I remember George taking good care of me as well when I was a brat 6 years ago. George, that's probably your gift. George is amazing at taking care of young kids. If you wanted to, I'll bet you'd do great with a job in childcare, don't you think? Yeah, it's almost like George was born to do something like that. Personally, I think that'd suit you better than doing business in some company president's office. Oh no, childcare is a fine career path. But it's not a job where merely liking children is enough. You really are modest, George. But Battler is quite good with children too. Just a second ago, even though it didn't last long, Maria seemed to be having a lot of fun. Please, keep on playing with her like you did just now. Just choose your jokes more carefully, okay? Aunt Rosa winked at me, giggling a little. She's a real mother, I thought to myself, who's happy to see Maria having fun. Come on, Rosa! And you brats too, what the hell are you doing? Let's get going. Okay, we're coming. The old bastard was waving for us to hurry up. Yeah, we needed to get moving. We might as well have this conversation after setting our luggage down in our rooms. Oh yeah, you again. Now then, everyone, allow me to lead you to the guest house, where you will be spending the night. Please, this way. Gohda called to everyone and led the way. Kumasawa brought up the rear. This is relatively slow. Like, we're half an hour into this episode, which means we played this game for an hour and a half now. More like an hour nearly an hour and 50 minutes, actually. Actually, come to think of it, since we just hit 35 on the recording, and the last episode was like an hour 15 or something, that's an hour 50. So that would be like episode 7 or something of the anime, and yeah, that's a lot further. Episode 1 started in a further place than this. The serpentine twisting path led through a dim forest. It ran a bit uphill. I'd guess the path was made all twisty so the slope wouldn't seem too steep. But personally, I'd have been happier if they'd have got the guts to make some stairs in a straight line. No doubt they made the path twist on purpose, to put on airs of distance and importance. Yeah, that makes sense. Before long, we saw garden-style stone steps. From here on, I do have some memories. Go up these, and... at the top of the stone steps, we saw a beautiful guest house. Cool. And a flower field. It's the Mele Mele Garden. Was that what it was called? Meadow. Mele Mele Meadow. You see, I know my Pokemon. Its facade was lovely, of course. But more importantly, we couldn't enter its doors without having our hearts stolen away by the splendor of the beautiful rose garden spreading before it. Gay! It's as beautiful as ever this year. A real delight for the eyes. After climbing the stone steps, the people greeted by this rose garden gave voice to their impressions one by one. Is it just me, or are the flowers a little less lively this year? It's probably because it wasn't that hot this summer.
I also believe that was a factor. Sadly, this year's blooming is a tad inferior when compared to last year's.
Even so, it was a delightful rose garden. I remember that even 6 years ago, huge numbers of roses had greeted us every year. This rose garden was the first thing that greeted the people who came to Rokkenjima. Even our parents, who came every year, couldn't help but give voice to their admiration. In fact, it seemed to have undergone a power-up from the garden in my memories of 6 years ago. This place is always so amazing. It would be wonderful to have a rose garden like this at home.
Give it up. Who do you think would take care of it? Roses are a real pain, with bugs and diseases to worry about.
Do vaccines not exist, or what? Well, from what I've heard, Kyrie takes care of her rose every day and makes sure no bugs get anywhere near it, right?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Oh, I think that's a metaphor for Ruda. Okay. That's right. Though in this person's case, the rose goes after the insects, like some nasty carnivorous plant.
Oh, so that's what you mean. Come on, Rosa, can't you give that a rest just for today? I put that sort of thing completely behind me.
What, did he used to be a delinquent or something? I guess that would make sense. I wonder. After all, you're a womanizer on an almost genetic level. No need to worry, Rosa. When a rose gives you too much trouble, it's always best to snip it at the root. Oh. So you mean punch him in the balls. Or either that or cut off his dickhead. Such frightening talk is this. This is. Guys who are popular with the ladies are always forced to live dangerously. I sure hope I turn out a bit prettier in my next life.
Hideyoshi, like I keep saying, it isn't like that at all. And Kyrie, stop it. You're freaking me out. You've made my rose wilt.
Oh. It was an even further metaphor. It wasn't talking about just Rudolph. It was talking about, Rudolph's red nose, we'll say. And we'll just go right past that for now. There should be a counter for how many sex metaphors there are in this game. Or sexual references. No, there should be an ooh counter instead, because that would make more sense. Hey Maria, look over here. These roses are especially magnificent. Magnificent roses. Ew. Smells pretty sweet. Look, this suits my elegance perfectly. Hey, cut it out. Maria's gonna imitate you and get hurt by the thorns. She yelled at me as I leaned in to smell the roses scent with an exaggerated gesture. I don't understand Jessica that much, like... It seems like she, at first, was similar to Undyne, being, like, feisty and shit, and now she's more worrisome for some reason. It's strange. I thought she was overreacting, but when I turned around, I saw Maria imitating my every gesture and George smiling broadly at us. I'm gonna kill you if you make her do any more dumb shit, Battler. Oh god. Okay. Hey now, Maria, be careful. Rose thorns can hurt. Eh?
George, only this rose is strange.
Yeah. Strange? What's wrong? Maria pointed at a single rose. I immediately understood why she found it odd. In the midst of all these magnificent roses, one single rose was just starting to wilt. Oh, I think I remember this, actually. There wasn't any particular reason. Some roses flourish and others wilt. That's all there was to it, but Maria seemed very concerned about the only unhealthy one in the group. It must have made her feel lonely. So you feel sad for this rose because it's the only one that isn't healthy?
Yeah. The others are all healthy, but this one's sad.
Well, fuck, I can't voice things. I can't... Girl voices are definitely the hardest. Guy voices are typically easy, you know, because I'm a guy, but... Still. Like, the high-pitched voices aren't that bad, but, like... characters like Natsuki, Himiko, Hiyoko, Mikan, they were all easy to voice. So is Maria, for the most part. Because in the span of like 10 minutes, I've managed to make it easier by making it a little more high-pitched, but Jessica's voice is ridiculous. I can't do it. I might just adapt it slowly throughout the game. Who knows?
Well, they all bloom and wither at their own paces. I'll bet this one's just starting to wilt early because it got to bloom before any of the others.
Yeah, that's right. It probably just bloomed like crazy, fulfilled its duty, and went to sleep. You shouldn't get so worked up about it.
Yeah.
It seemed that Maria's pure, sensitive nature was making her feel some emotional pain for the rose that wilted alone. Even though she understood the logic of it, it still felt lonely to her. Oh, I see now. This isn't about the rose, but I was just thinking for a second, what's with her little crown thing on her head? But then I saw the little red strip next to it, and I guess it's a hairband. That would make more sense. Then Maria, why don't you look after this rose until we leave? Eh? George straightened up and felt around in his pocket. He then took out the wrapper from the candy he had been sucking on the plane. He twisted it into a thin string, then gently tied it to the rose as a sort of marker. He kept it in his pocket for that long. Hey, that's pretty cute. Let's mark it with this. Later on, you can come and give it some water. I'm sure Mr. Rose will be happy.
Ugh! Come to give it water!
I think you should give Mr. Rose here a name. I'm sure that'll make it happy, and you'll get to know it a little better.
A name? A name. Yeah.
Though she still wore her usual sullen face, Maria crossed her arms and began to consider this intently. At the very least, she appeared to have been completely pulled out of her slump. Nice going, George. George has always been really understanding. Can't help but respect him. Yeah, I guess he was just born that way. We've got to start picking up tips. I don't know what tips they're referring to. Like, money tips or, like, advice tips? Because in that context, it could be either of those. What the fuck? Was this garden just as magnificent when you all were kids? It was only after I stopped living here that it grew so big. Before that, the garden was simpler, though I'm still attached to that one. Brother fiddled with it too much, and with that vaguely bad taste of his. I liked it much better before. Eva, you've got to think positive. Setting aside how it used to look, its beauty now is something to be admired. You'll be able to relax a lot better if you look at it that way. I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying that I wanted you to see this garden the way it was before, too. Did cameras not... Oh, wait. This is in the 80s. Cameras probably weren't all that big in... Well, if they're like 40, the, 50s, I'd suppose.
Everyone, if you please, I shall guide you to your rooms now.
Gohda called to everyone to ask if we were ready, but our hearts had been completely stolen away by the rose garden that none of us had seen for a year, so we didn't pay much attention to him. Since we weren't a travel group, it wasn't like we had a strict schedule to follow. Besides, since our parents were visiting their old home, full of nostalgia, It wasn't like they had to let themselves be urged on by anyone or anything. Understanding the situation, Gohda continued to wait, smiling widely, until our parents got tired of the roses and told them to guide us to our rooms. I think that's been the only time skip this entire time. And it's such a small time skip. Oh? Hey! If it isn't Canon. Oh, Canon, I remember him. It's been so long. How are you doing? Uncle Hideyoshi's son, we shouted. Alright. What voice should I give him? Can I do, like, an adaptation of, like, Eva, or, like, a younger male version? Like this, maybe. Oh, this actually, maybe higher pitched than that. In the direction he was waving was a slender boy. Meeting him right after a huge man like Gohda probably emphasized his small stature. The boy was in the middle of transporting piled up gardening tools and the like in a wheelbarrow. When he realized he was being called to stop, he set down the wheelbarrow, took his hat off, and bowed his head. Thus. Good afternoon. I figured he was probably younger than me, and I realized by the general atmosphere surrounding him that he was another servant. He greeted us in response to Uncle Hideyoshi's call, but he seemed like he might be pretty unsociable most of the time. It was a greeting that lacked feeling. I don't remember Canon being like that. When Gohda noticed that our interest had shifted towards him, he went to the boy's side and introduced him to us.
Or allow me to introduce you. This is one of the servants of the Ushiromiyas head household. Canon, greet our guest.
I'm pleased to meet... That doesn't work as well. I'm pleased to meet you. I am the servant, Canon. Yep, my first impression wasn't wrong. He seemed to be unsociable, or at the least not so good at talking. Compared to Gohda, who was extraordinarily polished as a servant, you couldn't help but feel an inexperience typical of his age. When Gohda urged him in a whisper to give a bit more of an introduction, the boy named Canon only cast his eyes downward.
Canon, could you perhaps give them a little more of a greeting?
Recording! I'll be out in like 13 minutes. Sorry about that, that happens sometimes. No, because we are furniture. Furniture, huh? I think I slightly remember him calling the servants furniture. That was a weird thing he did. He didn't seem to be refusing to greet us out of spite. Rather, he seemed to have fallen silent because he didn't know what else to say to us in greeting. Well, Canon's shy and doesn't tend to talk much. He might not be that sociable, but deep down he's a really good person. Don't get him wrong. You've been working here for 3 years, haven't you? Pretty sure you started a year before Gohda, right? Even though he wasn't exactly giving a terrible first impression, Jessica hurriedly backed him up. I see, apparently his unsociable nature causes him trouble a lot. Okay then, nice to meet you. I'm Battler. I'm 18. How old are you? Oh, you're 18? I thought you were 17. Did he not strictly say he was 17? I guess I just assumed it. He fell silent, as though wondering whether or not it was a question he'd have to answer. But here again, Jessica plowed ahead. If I remember correctly, Canon's 2 years younger than us, so 16, right? Yes, that is correct. It looked like he would have preferred not to tell us his age if given the choice. That was probably because he thought we'd look down on him for it. I remember that when I was around his age, I hated being asked how old I was by adults. I see, 16, huh? It's gotta be a delicate time. Which means I probably asked something I shouldn't have. Yeah, it is weird, like... When you're younger, you think of the ages like 14 through 18 as being so similar, but then you actually experience it, and it's like, holy fuck, what's going on? Because when I was 14, I was a cringy little shit. When I was 15, I was a cringy little shit. I got better when I was 16, and now I'm 17, so... Yeah, and I feel like I'm a lot better now than I was even just 2 years ago. And, I don't know, maybe I'll change more by the time I'm 18. In fact, I hope to, because I'd like my life to improve more, you know? Haha, I'm glad you're about our age. Just be cool and call me Battler. And I'll call you Canon.
Thank you very much. But the sentiment alone is sufficient, Battler.
Well, since I'm avoiding the honorifics, he's calling him Battler anyways.
God damn it, read the honorifics.
No, Canon, I will not read the honorifics, you dumb bitch. Get your beret off.
It's not a beret, it is...
Well, I don't know what it is. Jessica looked panicky for some reason. She seemed to think my impression of Canon was getting worse because of his refusal. Well, as a girl, Jessica probably couldn't understand the fretful male heart at this age. As his elder, even by just 2 years, I took it upon myself to be understanding of that.
Canon, could you perhaps be a little more courteous? The smiling face is also part of a servant's duty.
My apologies. I shall make an effort.
Ho ho ho! Gohda, Canon is trying his best, yes? It looked like he was often warned about being unsociable, and apparently he hadn't improved one bit. Gohda kept his business smile, but let a small sigh of resignation escape.
God, I want to really fucking punch this kid.
Well then, I still have work to do. If you'll excuse me.
It looked like Canon himself was uncomfortable with remaining silent here any longer. After another perfunctory bow? What are these words? He turned around and started pushing the wheelbarrow again. Just then, the wheelbarrow suddenly wobbled and fell, scattering the load. Oh, that sucks. I guess the wheelbarrow's single wheel got caught on a pebble and lost its balance. A fucking pebble? Come on. Like, as someone who's lived in a rural area for years, I've pushed probably like 3 dozen wheelbarrows in my life. Well, they've been all the same wheelbarrow, maybe the same 2 or 3, but I've pushed some wheelbarrows in my life. A pebble doesn't make it fall, even a hill doesn't, are you kidding me? Shitty writing.
What do you think you're doing? Now, clean it up quickly.
Gohda urged him to hurry in a quiet voice, as though hinting that it was shameful for a servant to appear clumsy in front of guests. I mean, people make mistakes. If you're so fucking posh that you think someone spilling a wheelbarrow is shameful, like, why? I've spilled wheelbarrows too. Thankfully not ones full of dirt, because that's a pain in the ass. Or it would be. But still, it's annoying. Canon wordlessly reloaded the wheelbarrow with the fallen objects, as if to say that he understood quite well without being told. He seemed to be fine with the light-looking gardening tools, shovels and such, but he looked like he was having trouble getting his arms around and lifting up some sacks of fertilizer.
Are you okay? You're so careless. Here.
Milady, you will dirty your garments. Please, leave this to us.
With a smooth motion, Gohda took the shovel that Jessica had picked up. Behind him, Canon was having trouble with the sacks of fertilizer.
You'll dirty your garments?
Don't worry, the ones I'm wearing aren't that expensive. Besides, I hate guys who just sit there and make the waitress pick up the fork they dropped at a restaurant. I lifted up the other bags that had fallen. Of course, they weren't light, but for me it was a piece of cake. Canon looked at me, surprised. It was the face of someone who never would have expected to receive help from a guest.
Battler, don't worry about it. I will take care of everything, so...
Don't you worry. I may not look it, but I've got it where it counts. What? I may not look it, but I've got it where it counts. Haha. Since Canon looked like he hadn't yet gone through his growth spurt, he was stuck with a sort of weak body. This kind of weight might have been too much for him.
It's quite heavy. It's natural that it would be difficult for you. Don't worry about it, Canon.
Okay, my time to shine. This makes up for the boat stuff from before, right?
Ha! As if this could make up for freaking out like that. Later, I'll tell you about it too, Canon.
Battler was totally hilarious.
Gonna fall! Ooh!
Oh my god. I wonder when they're gonna stop with the boat shit. As they did this, I piled all the stuff back into the wheelbarrow.
I beg your forgiveness for letting you witness such unsightliness.
Come now, that's quite enough. Please, go.
Letting the guests who were supposed to feel welcome see such a disgraceful thing must have been hideously embarrassing for a servant. Pressed by Gohda to hurry up and go, Canon left.
Read the goddamn
fucking... What are they? I forgot their names. Honorifics. Cannon, leave. Or else I'll shoot you out of the cannon. Oh, please, no, not that. My worst fear. The European version of my name. You're too harsh on him, Gohda. Shouldn't you have helped him instead of being a bully?
That was wrong of me. I deeply implore your forgiveness.
Without even a twitch in his smile, Gohda apologized elegantly. He does strike me as being, like, aggressive, despite being a servant. Cannon has a lot of things he's good at, too. It's just that being young, it works against him all the time. It's a crying shame.
Well, it's a prickly age. Let's just leave him be. After all, closed-mouthed servants are the best kind. Isn't that right, Kumasawa?
Ho ho ho, Rudolph. You truly are harsh. There is no servant as silent as me, of course. Everyone smiled wryly at that obvious lie. Even she herself didn't believe that, not in her wildest dreams. So she must have said it to lighten the mood. Yeah, that's the kind of character Kumasawa used to be. The once stiff atmosphere had cleared up at once thanks to her cheerful smile. I'd like to set down our luggage soon. Gohda, what rooms are we all going to take?
It shall be the same as the previous year. Allow me to guide you. Please, this way.
What about Battler? He wasn't here last year. We headed towards a trim, elegantly simple guest house. This was going to be our temporary quarters for the night. Oh, Cannon again. Cannon watched over a hedge as the guests all entered the guest house. Then he let his eyes fall on those heavy sacks of fertilizer piled up in the wheelbarrow. In his mind, he kept going over his previous mistake. Battler, big and strong, had picked up the sacks in front of him. The sacks Cannon couldn't lift himself, as if they were feathers. It would be extremely difficult for an outside observer to guess what emotions that favor had stirred up in Cannon. But as far as you could tell by watching him hang his head, there was something that he just couldn't let go of. Muttered words escaped his lips, but those words he murmured were so soft that they didn't even reach his own ears. Even I. Cannon hung his head, slightly biting his lower lip. Fuck that guy, fuck that guy, fuck that guy, fuck that guy. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna end it now, because we're 3 minutes off of an hour, and I feel like I'd have to go for another 20 minutes before I get a decent stopping point. So I'm just gonna end the episode here. I fixed the dimensions for this episode too, in case you didn't notice. I no longer have the bar at the top of the application or my taskbar at the bottom, so that should make the video at least slightly more visually appealing. But yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name's Godzi, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!